here from Asia. Go, or possibly Asiago, a minor township with the title of the city in the surrounding plateau region in the province of Vicenza, in the Veneto region of northeastern Italy. We are here today with ESL Open Cup Asia. No, wait, this way. Asia Division number 239. I am, of course, your host, Yaku of Rizaku, and with me today is La que le gusta zeste, que umanap es bastante bexte. Light _ VIP. How are we doing, Light?
The hell did you just say? What's up, Yago? It's great to be here. It's great to be back once again with another ESL Open Cup Asia. As you mentioned, your weekly dose of Korean StarCraft, and even a little bit extra on top of that, a little bit of spice here with some of the American boys that have rocked up in South Korea, and we're going to be featuring one of them in this series.
Indeed, we are. What a treat that we have here. It's so rare that we get to kick things off with a TvZ, but that's what we're doing today. Here we have it on Dynasty over here in the bottom left-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the bottom left. We have our red Zerg player coming down from the land of Korea. He is, of course, going to be representing Gaming Gladiators. GG! We have SHIN.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the American Terran player, the yellow Terran, representing Maturino Esports, going for an interesting opener with a Rax expand, but not the way you would expect. It is Future.
It's a half.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I was going to say it's a half Bjorn.
Yeah, sure. Kind of. I mean, there's no Reaper. It's like a quarter Bjorn, or like a third.
Yeah, it's Bjorn-ish.
Yeah. So an interesting opener here out of Future, even chasing down that Overlord as well. Very committed the Overlord is going to be going down. Meanwhile, if you're in the chat, of course, predictions are open. Predictions actually have now closed at this point. So play show bets, and I believe this series will go. But again, Future going for the CC, going for the goal base. Bold move. I'm a little bit surprised that Dynasty was not vetoed by SHIN, but it must be for a reason, as the Overlord is going to go down.
Yeah, if there was ever going to be a Zerg player in the current era of StarCraft 2 who wouldn't veto some of these trickier maps, some of these maps that are maybe not as favorable to Zerg, but can allow for a couple of unique builds, it would be SHIN.
Oh yeah, speaking of unique builds, you normally don't take this goal base as a fourth, because you expand here on your third base, then you take it as a fourth, but no, we're rushing into it, and the SCV Scout will confirm. So both players are trying to rush into their goal bases behind this Future, opening up with a 1-1-1. Delayed third TC, so Future is going to be a little bit more chaotic, is going to be a little bit more aggressive here in the follow-up.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing that add-on swap. We are, as a matter of fact. A little bit interesting to see it in the wall to your to your natural base, a little bit more of a risk, but I'm guessing that's what the initial Hellion is for here for Future, just to get a little bit of map control, make sure that it is safe to swap.
Just a little bit of map control with the one Hellion.
Not too much.
We're going to be doubling down with additional Hellions. We also cannot go for an add-on swap for the Starport because the Starport is on the high ground, so it is going to be a Liberator into a Hellbat push. Okay, I was curious how aggressive we wanted to be. It is going to be Hellbats out of Future. Meanwhile, SHIN is investing into those Roaches.
That he is. Oh boy. It feels like 2021, was it? 2021 or 2022? Again, where TvZ was literally nothing but Roaches. It was, I think, after that season where Rogue just made nothing but Roaches and won a GSL Code S.
Yeah,
coming back quite a bit lately.
Yeah, we do see. I mean, we expect to see it here on Dynasty just because it's the only way to punish the gold. If SHIN want to try and punish this gold mineral line, Roach Ravager is the way to do it. Speaking of, Roaches are going to be rallying here towards that mineral line. At the same time, Future is still building up and getting ready for his eventual move out. Hellions are being active. Armory is done.
And he's just getting ready. He does scout these Roaches, and he does have the Liberator ready if he does want to send it back, but no, Future, he is committed.
Yeah, the Liberator does not turn back around. Hellion's going to deal with the Roaches. Not the best trade for Future, but he will eventually clean this up, as it takes a lot of Hellion shots to kill a Roach.
Indeed it does, but you know, if you can line them up well, if your micro is absolutely godlike, you can trade pretty well, especially when you have Hellbats on the line, but 90% of the time, it's not a good trade for Terran, and this case is no exception.
Yeah, the Hellion Hellbat is going to be cleaned up, and now we can lay siege upon the mineral line. Liberator has arrived. That's going to be the second lib here for Future, as the first one across the map was actually deflected as well. Wait, did it go down? It did!
What?
The Spore
did.
The Spore and the Queen. I guess I'm not too sure what killed it, but the Liberator did go down to the Spore and the Queen. And alas, Future has been bleeding out a lot of units already, but the Cyclones have arrived.
And they will be able to deal with all of these roaches in the end. Future not taking too much more SCV damage. Only 4 SCVs went down, so could have been a lot worse for him, definitely, but yeah, it's a little unfortunate that he was never able to get his build off the ground. He wasn't quite able to execute his initial push.
This Queen has a kill. Just I was trying to find the Queen that killed the Liberator. I think it's this Queen right here. I think it's got 1 kill on it. At first I was like, yo, did the Queen and the Liberator kill each other? But no Queen has gone down this game, so I'm assuming that's what happened. Regardless, we do defend. Future likewise cleans up all the roaches.
That Queen gonna be winning silver at the Olympics. It is a sharpshooter.
There you go. Is a hit woman.
Yeah.
Hired by the Swarm.
Is bald.
Yeah. We have one more mission
on
for
the back
you.
of its head.
Snipe the lib.
Yeah.
I just want to raise a family and inject a hatchery. No.
Yeah. We need you once again.
We're coming out of retirement.
Your country needs you. The Swarm needs you.
Exactly. As after the chaos and the again aggressive nature of the game, we're gonna be calming things down a little bit. Future takes control of the gold base. Likewise, Shin also takes advantage of his gold as well. So we're all up and running. We're fully saturated. And who do I favor here in this kind of setup? I mean, Shin has free reign and is gonna be able to join up quite nicely here up to 4-base saturation.
Yeah, he does have the map control. He is going to be playing very greedy from here on out, or ideally he's going to be playing greedy from here on out. He's actually still producing roaches behind all of this, but getting the infestation pit, so you know that he is still thinking long term.
Yeah, he is taking up at least, but isn't droning, as you did point out. I mean, we don't need too much saturation just because of the gold. Like, the gold does allow us to get away with a bit of a lower drone count, and we're just doubling down on Roach Ravager. And the question becomes, is Future going to be in position for this? His army is over towards the left-hand side. He's protecting the gold mineral line. He's not protecting his natural.
Yeah, he does have a tank in position, but is that tank really going to be enough? Thankfully, he does have all those, all of that bio and all of those cyclones that can come in for a little bit of surround.
They can attempt this around, a little bit awkward. Rax is forced to be lifted. They're going to be surviving. They do float away, and then we just rotate over towards that for that flanking army.
Yeah, and we're going to completely crush all of this. The tank, thankfully, was able to evacuate to the high ground, but that's still a lot of damage that's going to be dealt to this Terran. I was going to say bio army, but it's actually a lot of cyclones in the mix as well, so...
Yeah,
Terran army in general.
Yeah, it's an army. It's an army to speak of. Meanwhile, we just rotate over towards the right-hand side. We're collapsing here on top of the Marines and the Marauders, and we are bleeding out a lot of bio units here. The medevacs doing whatever they can. Tanks are once again repositioning, but the Ravagers, if they can get close enough, they can bile down that tank.
Those are some of the absolute cleanest bile shots that I saw earlier on, taking out 2 of those tanks at that gold base, and now there's barely any. In fact, there's 0 tanks remaining here for Future. Roaches and Ravagers do get cleaned up in the end, but the very fact that he was able to clean up that tank count, trade well against Terran army with only roaches, is already a good sign here for Shin.
Yeah, and he's mining at the gold base as well. We're going to be rotating over, and it looks like the Ravagers are going to be cleaned up, but we have reinforcements on the way. Shin, he's just hammering down that R key, non-stop roach production out of Shin, and he is going to take control of that gold base. He will not allow any mining whatsoever, and Future is stuck on a 2-base economy.
And Shin got that infestation pit. It finished up a while ago, but it looks like he's not even going to need it. He is just holding down that Archie, as you said, sending a couple of lings when he's low on gas, and he's just going to end it. GG. Shin, taking game number 1.
GG, well played. Shin will take a lead here, and it was a really interesting build out of Future. Unfortunately, he was working towards a Hellbat push against a player that was embracing roaches. Roaches are quite common on Dynasty because of that gold mineral line, and we saw that the initial plan, the initial build of Hellbats didn't really come into fruition.
Yeah, unfortunately not. And it was just a strong start for Shin from the beginning all the way to the end. From the fact that he just wasn't taking any damage whatsoever from an opening from Shin, or from an opening from Future, that was designed to deal a lot of damage, to trade well against workers specifically in the early game, or at the very least reset the queen count in the early game, just perpetually set him behind for the rest of it.
Oh, yeah.
That's why you never. That's why when you go full Bjorn, you gotta commit.
You do.
None of this one racks on the low ground, add-on swap with the factory. Nah.
I mean, Future, he does
Full Bjorn.
he does his own thing. He goes full Future here. I mean, Future, he's known for his own peculiar builds and peculiar setups. I'm curious if we're going to be seeing the infamous eBay block in this matchup as well. I'm always excited to cast on Future.
That's what was missing. Yeah, that's what lost him the game, really.
True.
More than anything else. You gotta stick to who you are. Anyway, speaking of sticking to who you are, we're going to be moving on to Amphion. Over here in the bottom left-hand corner map, swinging all the way in the bottom left, we of course have our red Zerg player coming out from the land of Korea. He's of course going to be representing the Gaming Gladiators. We have Shin Ramyun.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the American Terran player once again going for interesting what looks to be a bit of a fake proxy Rax opener, representing Match Arena Esports. It is Future.
I like this Rax placement from Future because it's like kind of a fake out, but also not really.
Yeah.
I mean,
Otherwise
just
it'd be
take a
like,
few steps
yeah.
into the base and you'll be like, oh yeah, there's your Rax. It's not a proxy.
Well, I mean, Shin is going pool first, so there's a lot going on right now. So Shin opening up pool first, the Overlord, when it scouts, will confirm that the Rax is missing, and that might force an overreaction. Regardless, Ling's going to be on the way, and the goal here for Shin is to delay the expansion of Future.
Indeed, he is. But till then, we're going to be setting up.
Yeah, SCV is being sent across the map, CC on the low ground. Meanwhile, when it comes to the pool first, we are making a queen. We are only making 2 Lings, so Shin is actually not going to be committing too hard to this. Looks like more or less a safety pool first opener out of Shin, just to be secure, and yeah, we can see that there's nothing really to be secure about. We're just entering a really... We're getting towards the, like a standard game setup, but we're getting there in a really weird way.
Indeed we are. Yeah, this is... I feel for Future here. I feel like I've been in a scenario like this where I do something and I'm like, I'm gonna fake you out. And my opponent just doesn't scout me at all. Has no idea that I'm thinking so far ahead.
Oh god, yes. We think we're playing chess and checkers, but it's really just 2 completely different games right now, and we're trying to keep up with each other.
We think we're playing chess and checkers, but really we're playing Twister or something. Really, we're just slapping each other.
Let's go. Meanwhile, okay, so Shin, he's mining through these middle patches. Looks like he wants to take the triangular third base, a bit of a safer third base location. Meanwhile, Future is going for, once again, a delayed third TC into a 2-1-1.
Like so. A little bit more of an active style this time, coming out from Future. A little bit more of an active opening. We're going to be seeing him move out much earlier on with Marines. He's going to be looking to clear creep. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do with a 2-on-1.
Yeah, as opposed to the previous game, this time, like, no Hellbat push, right? No Hellion production either. We should be working towards a starport, reactor, add-on swap. The 2-on-1s in general are not really seen too often, and nowadays, whenever we see it, it's like 3cc 2-on-1 as well, so a little bit old school out of Future, and we'll see how he does bring it all together, especially because we are actually going to be delaying our reactor here and delaying our starport.
Yeah, not quite the full-on. Yeah, not quite the full-on classic 2-on-1. There we go.
Yeah, so we're
okay,
getting
so technically still, we're getting there, yeah. But just interesting that Future prioritized bunker instead.
As Overlord comes in for a scout, checking Shin's vision. He did get eyes on the building starport. He's fully aware of the 2-on-1 opener, so Shin has seen everything he needs to. And it's on Shin to respond, it's on Shin to respect it. Bagatomi's spreading creep, getting his third base, and droning up, and yeah, it should be able to settle in quite nicely. There's potential for damage for future, but Shin knows what he has to get ready for.
Yeah, we're going to be getting ready. We're going to be getting a whole bunch of lings, ideally. I wonder how effective banelings would be now. Because it used to be that with 2-on-1, banelings aren't that effective in the early game, just because, you know, with slow banes, it's not that difficult for Simmarines to kite them. But nowadays...
Yeah, if we thought it was going to be like a 2-on-1 Hellbat push, then banelings could be effective. But for now, a single Evo chamber is the correct response. We're going for +1 carapace. That's all we're spending our gas on. We're droning, making lings, spreading creep, and yeah, so far Shin is being quite efficient here. And we'll see if Future can get any damage done as he's now moving out, and Shin does have the tools to defend.
Yeah, it's got a lot of queens looking to intercept these medevacs. The reaction from Future going to be pulling away and dropping outside, where slightly outside, where it's kind of safe to drop.
Yeah, can maybe catch a tumor. First tumor's going to be going down. We go for the queens, but we have a transfuse. The queen does survive, and we do zone the double drop away. We're going to try and dive into the main bold move here out of Future. Oh.
A bold move out of Future, but not necessarily a bad one, if not for the fact that there was a Spore Crawler already waiting. Literally one hit from anything right now will kill this medevac and 8 Marines in it.
Yeah, Future can try to evacuate if he uses the other medevac to tank, but like he has to be very careful and he has to pray that Shin isn't target firing.
This is why I think Terran should have recall.
Smooch. Why don't medevacs have the teleportability of BCs, right?
Yeah.
Why?
They're made of the same stuff.
Are they?
You know?
Huh?
Yeah.
It's all metal.
They both fly.
They both fly.
It's all metal.
Yeah.
Except for the ones that are cardboard. But
just strap a fusion core onto a medevac. That's all you have to do.
Yeah, what could go wrong? Anyway, we got a full surround top of his tank. Yeah. Lings are going to get cleaned out. But again, resetting the tank count is absolutely already a huge payoff for Shin.
Oh yeah, exactly. The tank goes down. Shin is going to be able to drone up, get up to 4-base saturation. 4th hatchery is on the way. And Shin is getting to Ling Bane Hydra. There's no secure way to shut down these medevacs yet. Once we get a hive, we can work towards Vipers. But until then, the medevacs are going to be safe for now. And Future, his goal, I guess, at this point is to hope that maybe the queens rotate. And then we can maybe get out. Maybe.
Yeah, potentially. That's also what this other drop is ideally going to be useful for. Pulling a couple of these queens out of position, ideally.
Yeah, we'll see.
I hear the wolf again.
Yeah, the wolf, it's there, Bobby, it's there. We're not hearing things. I'm with you.
Yeah. Well, we could be hearing things.
We could be, yeah. We could just both be going insane.
Yeah.
Which really just want wolf.
But, exactly. I don't think that's too likely. What could possibly point to us losing it?
Yeah.
Huh?
Right, we're there to check
more
each other.
Sound and mentally sound than we are.
Oh no. As we are going to try to break out. The other thing that Future could try to do is try to snipe the queens, right? If he goes for another double drop here on the left-hand side, if he is able to bring down these queens, and he can free up that supply as well. Speaking of, we are moving towards the left-hand side. Meanwhile, Shin is able to drone before base saturation. We can now focus on Ling Bane Hydra, and Shin should be able to keep up.
Yeah, especially since Future has now switched into Widowmine production, which, funnily enough, isn't great against Hydras.
Yeah,
Imagine sending the whole army just to save those 2 medevacs. that would be cool.
Yeah, saving Private Ryan, but we gotta save the boys. Yeah. They're out there like in the middle of space. They're running out of food on the medevacs. They can only hold on for so long. We have to save them.
Exactly. Divert everything. Another double drop coming out to the south, but Shin, he's on top of all of this. He's also got the Hydralist now, which means that he will be able to much more easily keep up with all these drops. It's getting tougher and tougher here for Future to get value.
Yeah, it really is. As Future, I mean, likewise back at home, he's also pretty well fortified. We haven't seen any kind of Ling aggression outside of the first Ling Flood or the first Ling counterattack, so we're going to be able to slowly get our 4th base, and Future's keeping up supply-wise. Again, we'll see if we can end up breaking out. Likewise, Shin, just now joining up to 80, can now focus on maxing out himself, and I believe is still not gotten a hive. There we go, just now on the way. Up!
Yeah, we're getting there. Oof. Good little connection here on Bailing's for Shin, taking out a little chunk of these Marines and a couple of Widow Mines as well. Yeah, one Widow Mine as well.
And one Widow Mine did go down. We can see Future setting up, making use of the terrain, and a very annoying position for these tanks as they reduce so much service area.
Yeah, love to see it.
Oh, can we do it? Can we save them?
We're gonna try the Marines! Gonna be pulling back a little bit here. The Queen's still manning their positions.
Ooh, yeah.
Massive flank of Banelings.
Yeah, we come in from behind. We collapse on top of the tanks. The tanks are going to be cleaned up, and alas, we do not free. No, it went down.
No, what did it go?
What happened?
No, Ryan.
Ryan, he went down, and now we're going for a massive counterattack as well. We deny mining here at the planetary. Planetary's on the way. It looks like it will hold on.
Yeah, technically here for Future. He's still going to be able to keep up economically, but oh man, that was... He's going to be able to keep up economically, but he's still behind now after losing that army.
Yeah, it was that medevac, that drop. It was
that drop.
Did go down. We can see Shin setting up for his own push now as he is maxed out. So finally, we do see Future going across the map likewise. We could end up going for a bit of a pseudo base trade as Shin is going for the 3rd base and there's not much of him to defend.
Oh, the armory is over here as well. That's going to deny +2 ground weapons or +2 vehicle weapons. The Banelings could be busting on through into the natural base. Tanks go down and the production is very, very vulnerable now.
Yeah, meanwhile, that medevac did just dive into the main. It goes down. We eviscerate the economy. 44 SPs is going to be going down, and Future has to commit to the base trade. He will get a base. We'll maybe even get the natural as well. But Banelings are going to be denied.
Yeah, not too bad here. And Shin on the other side of the map, you know, he spent all of his Banelings and most of his Lings as well. Doesn't really have too much of an army on the map. He is going to be relying entirely on reinforcements to defend.
Exactly, as Shin, he busts into the main base. He's came to the production of Future at the same time as you mentioned. Future does take some Baileys to the face. The splits were okay, but not ideal. The hive is going to be going down, and we are making our way towards the main of Shin.
Yeah, we're at the point right now where just 1 or 2 good Baneling connections will be enough to end this for Shin, but I don't think he can afford Banelings, actually.
Yeah, Shin, he doesn't have much to work with. We're going to be losing our tech as well. Spawning pool does go down. Vipers do make it out, but Shin is going to be trapped in his own main, and he has to race back home.
That he does. His planetary is still up and running here for Future, so he has a very, very secure base of operations. He actually has a decent-ish economy. I mean, it's not great, but compared to what Shin has, it's very, much more secure.
Yeah, he's got the planetary, he's got 1 base up and running. Meanwhile, Shin, he's on 1.5. He's on 1.5 saturation here. He is rebuilding that spawning pool as we speak, so for the time being, what you see is what you get for Shin, but he still has Vipers, and with Vipers, we can Blinding Cloud, we can Parasitic Bomb, we have a lot more potential here with Shin's army.
Indeed, we do, but this is the only army that he's going to have for now, as most of the tech has been taken out for Shin. I was wondering why he wasn't making Banelings. It's because his Baneling nest got killed. Yeah. He's remaking the spawning pool now. He doesn't have a Hydra Den anymore. He doesn't have a lair to make a Hydra Den. Shin needs to buy a lot of time, or at the very least... Well, yeah, he needs to buy a lot of time to hole up and get himself back to a tech level that can compete with Future's army.
Yeah, but the problem for Future here is the supply block. He's been supply blocked the entire time, so Future, even though he has production and he has an economy, he cannot spend that money. Not right now. Shin can, as we have preserved most of the Overlord, so Shin is going to be able to get back into his overall production. Meanwhile, Future needs time as well to get himself set up.
That he does. He does. So we're going to be slowing things down for a very long time as both of our players are now kind of turtling up. Look at Future trying to be active, which he should be. I think he knows that he is behind economically at this point. He needs to go out in the map and find value wherever he can. And of course, with these medevacs, he always has the opportunity to try to pick up and leave. Super tricky though with all these Hydras that manage to survive.
Yeah, the Hydras, the Vipers as well with their abduction, so it's going to be difficult to really be too active on the map. Speaking of, that tank is looking exposed.
And that tank is looking yoinked.
Tank does.
That was the only tank.
Yeah, the only tank here on the front lines. The others are a little bit further back. We're only being active with the Bio Army, and SHIN is double expanding. He's double expanding. He's getting back up to a decent economy. SHIN, the spawning pool is now done. Hydrogen is now done. We can now actually make an army.
Well, we still need money for that. We have what we have the foundation. We have the tech to make an army. We just don't have the minerals to pay them, or I guess we don't really pay Zerg units, but
they have their little Zerg wallets like in their back pocket.
Yeah.
As we do, almost catch the Viper.
Yeah, almost, but not quite. In my mind, they're like little Zerg wallets, are like little koala pouches or kangaroo pouches.
No, yeah, for the Hydra, right? They have like a pouch on their fronts. Yeah, I
That's
can
where
see
they keep
that.
their money.
Hydras are
And
basically
their babies.
They're big kangaroos.
Exactly. That's why they jump.
That is what they do, yes. They're known for jumping, the Hydra.
Yeah. Yeah.
His future is going to be moving out, spreading out as well. He has potential with this army, but again, the blinding clouds are the big thing that I'm concerned about, and we're just going to be collapsing it. Barely not, as SHIN is forced back.
Yeah, Viper's not in position. They were back at home, sucking on some youth juice. But here they are now. Blinding clouds do get thrown down, and these tanks can't really do much of anything.
Yeah, we clean up the tanks, we clean up the Bio Army as well, and SHIN is going to be able to bust through this. GG gets called, and SHIN will take the series 2-0.
GG. Nicely done here.
GG, well played. They will take the series in the end, and yeah, a bit of a chaotic end to the game. Again, the base trade was maybe the best chance that Future had. He did do a lot of damage with it, but unfortunately was unable to really end the game, was unable to end SHIN there, and yeah, SHIN did have just enough left over to recover, to stabilize.
Those queens, man. The absolute MVPs of the game there for Future, because we're kind of memeing about it a little bit, but unironically, 16 Marines early on in the game that literally are not doing anything, and they cannot do anything, is absolutely huge, especially when you're going for an active style like a 2-on-1. There were certain points in around the, I think, 6 or 7 or 8 minute mark, somewhere around there, where Future had a high army supply. But effectively, because all those Marines were stuck in the middle of the map, he couldn't do anything with that. He was stuck, and it just allowed SHIN to get into his groove, macro up, and have complete map control.
Oh yeah, did have that map control, and as you mentioned, like, so much supply tied up that early on is that much more important, that much more impactful as well. So SHIN, congratulations, we'll take the first series, and now we're getting ready for our next matchup here. Switching on over, let's have a look at the bracket.